Hello, everybody. Welcome again to our 1615 Capital Investments Investors Meeting. This is our fourth meeting. I'd like to welcome everybody out again. Thank you for coming. Today, we have a few things we're going to go over, some really important information today. We're going to, we're going to discuss basically some of the financial structure of the group. We also had a few changes that we have done, so we're going to discuss that today as well. First thing I want to discuss immediately is the increase in our partnership entry. We have discussed that, and we have set a goal for the group, and the goal is now that we're going to raise $1 million in 5 years. We've discussed it amongst the peers a few times, and now we are ready to take action on that goal. So our first step of action was to increase the partnership entry. After we discussed it, we realized that realistically, we're not going to meet that goal starting at 300. So we have raised it to 500. That being said, with that 500 entry, you can pay it up front if you like to pay it up front, or we're going to break it out in four quarters. I think that's how we did it, 4 months. So it's 25% of that 500 beginning in August. So we're going to begin collecting funds in August. 25% of 500 is 125. So it'll be 125 from August, September, October, and November. And then you take December off. And then we'll start our monthly payments in January for the group. So I just wanted to go ahead and address that immediately so everybody would know about it. I think that's all from my end today. I think that's all I had. I was going to address. We have Ms. Stephanie Luntz here today that's going to talk to you all about some of the financial structure of the group and our ownership model as well. Some really good information. Stephanie is highly qualified in her position in the field. She's been doing this for a very long time. And I'm very grateful that she took on the task of becoming our treasurer. She's very skilled. I don't have a resume in front of me, but it's very thorough. I was very impressed, I can tell you that. Light her up and kind of let her speak to you all today about the financial structure and our set goals and our ownership model.
Thank you. So everyone, please excuse me. My husband and I love his heart. Got our wires crossed. And so we're on our way to the pool, but I felt like I still owed it to everyone to be here to understand everything we've put together. So don't want to keep anybody waiting. Here is what we have proposed. So please forgive me, I'm going to turn off the camera because I want everyone really to focus on the details of what I'm going to present today. And if anyone has any questions at any time, Eric is going to be kind of manning the Facebook chat. If you have questions, please go ahead and put those out there. If you're in the room, feel free to shout them out. I'll be happy to answer any questions. So here we are. Yes, thank you. Okay, so as Eric mentioned, we are going to have a partnership entry fee for the first year for $500. Okay, so the partnership entry fee is $500. Payout plan is as Eric has described. The monthly fee will begin in January. However, for recognition in our financials, I'm going to accrue the dollars that are related to the management fee for 2015. So I will explain what all of these terms mean at a later point, but just to let everyone know, when we're looking at the 5-year plan, that's what you're going to be seeing in our revenue for partners bucket. Okay. So if you have any questions, as mentioned before, go ahead and reach out to Eric. I might be able to help you. I am on Facebook at any moment, so you just feel free to see it in our revenue. You'll be able to see. You'll be able to ask me any questions. Okay, so revenue, that's the goal, right? We want to earn the money, make the money, and take the money back out of the company for ourselves and or put money back into the company so that we can continue doing what we're doing. So how are we going to make money? We're going to go with a series of the items listed now. So we have grants, silent donors, investment partners, interest earned. While it might be small, interest can earn us a little bit of money, and we want to utilize that as best we can. Also some crowdfunding. As you all know, crowdfunding has become the gift, and I'm sure in some cases the curse of this period in time, but we're going to try to use it as a benefit to us. So crowdfunding, and then any other sources of revenue. As a member, I would expect that, yes, you've paid your money. Yes, you expect to see some benefit from it, but we want your ideas as well. How do you think we can raise money, and what does that look like? So I'm going to leave other on there. That's where we're kind of going with. All right, so models. We have an ownership model, and we also have a voting model. So ownership model, everyone is weighted equally. No matter how many people we have, everyone's weight in the company will be the same. So if we earn $1 million and there are 10 people, you will split that earning back out the same way. So that's kind of short and sweet and simple. Voting is going to be a little different. We're using a different model for that, and I will go into great detail, but just to kind of give you some preview, it is a weighted vote. So I will kind of dive into that later on in this speech. So I'm going to pause here for a second, see if anybody has any questions. Everyone's good? Perfection. Okay. As I said earlier, ownership, this is what it looks like, right? Some people like Word, some people like Sight. So this is a very easy way to look at ownership. Everyone's equal. Makes it really simple. So what does that mean? This is our 5-year goal, right? This is a back of the envelope, what Eric and I have discussed, how we think we can get there. And just to kind of give you some metrics, down here at the bottom, our number of partners, we're assuming at 10, and you'll see it moves every year until our 5th year, where we'll max out at 20. That is just the back of the envelope as to what we have going on right now. Not saying that this is hard and fast, but the one thing that is our membership fee. Membership fee, if you get in on the bottom floor, you get a little nugget of some good guy. Versus if you get in a little later, you're gonna have to pay to be a part of what we've already built. So I think that's a little fair. That's how most ownership works. Just to kind of give you a really quick synopsis, this is what the P&L will look like on a monthly and or annual basis. It can be changed. Eric and I are in discussions about that, so it should be pretty good, but we will have a separate line for buy-in and then another line for other revenue. That way we can clearly see how much of our revenue is from the members and then how much we're getting from everyone else. And you really want to show that so that you say, okay, we put in our money at the beginning, and what is it doing for us? Or what has that one additional or 2 additional people, what does that look like? So just kind of a short and sweet what we would look like. Okay. Now, we can talk about revenue, we can talk about all those things, but how are we going to get there? One way we're going to get there is via information. We are an investment group, and in that, you have different ways that you're going to earn revenues. And the only way we're going to know how to invest our money or to receive money back out would be through information. Not just the information, but how we use the information. Information is key. It's one of the things I'm very, very good at. Massive amounts of it. I put it in very concise ways to make everyone kind of see the same picture that we need to see and use it the way we need to use it. And then in the end, what we're going to do is just going to educate ourselves on what our process should be and how we should vote on purchasing and things of that nature. So these are the 3 pillars of what we need to be able to be successful going forward. So with that, I took a little information dive, right? So permits in Davidson County. I have lived in the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area my entire life, so 34 years. And I decided we have seen the boom since the show Nashville came on TV. But in the last 2 years, this is what I do know is true. Since January 1st, 2015 through June of 2016, Davidson County has issued 18,258 permits for construction. This is not a made-up number. This is real. 18,000 permits since January 1st through June of 2016. What does that mean and what does it look like? So of course, I'm not going through 18,000 lines and saying, oh, this is in West Nashville. This is in, no. So I break it up into pieces. So I have building, rehab, right? So good example would be, let me think of a place. Commercial rehab. Oh, Clyde's on Church was a building already standing. They just made it into something new. So you have to have a permit for that. Another example would be building residential, new. Let me think. Taco Mamacita was not there. It was an empty corner. That is what falls into this area. So these are very common sense, very easy to read and understand permits. Well, also, we also have this random tree removal permit. Well, do we really care about tree removal? We're not getting into that business, but we want to know what things are being used for. There was a list of 95 different types of permits. These were the highest ones. The largest number of the permits were issued to these 4 categories, right? So then I said, okay, that's great, but where are these permits being issued, right? We only care about the cities, or we think we only care about the cities that have the largest permit issued. This could be a good thing, this could be a very bad thing. Do you really want to go into a high saturated area like Nashville? I don't know, maybe. Or is it easier to get something in Hebron? Would they push it through faster? Don't know. If you promise them the world, maybe. Who knows? So I took all of these 18,000 and put it into something you could very easily understand, right? So right now, Nashville is taking the lead, of course, at 14,000 permits. But I said, okay, Nashville's kind of huge. I want to see it by zip code. This is every zip code in Nashville area. Every one of them. And the 2 highest, 37209, 37206. That is East Nashville and West Nashville. They make up the majority of all of the permits issued in Nashville. So when you really get down to the brass tacks of information, right, then we get to make educated decisions on what types of areas we want to invest in and which ones we don't. And this is the best way to kind of look at all of the data that's at our discretion at any moment. I could go run it right now and that number would change. But this was as of yesterday morning at 6:30 in the morning. And this is what you got. So when you enter in a permit, you have to say, hey, I want this permit. And that tree is going to cost me $1,500 to remove. You have to give them that amount of detail, right down to what you're actually going to do with that lot and what it's going to be. So they put in the average cost. So as you remember before, we said Nashville had the highest number of permits issued, right? 14,000. Brentwood had 322, but they also cost more to enter, right? So we have 4 different pieces of information, but the pictures of that information mean very different things. So I'm giving you all of this information to say we have a lot at our fingertips. We can use a lot of it to our benefit and how we see the company going forward.
Where did you go to find this information?
I literally typed into Google Davidson County's issued permits. I went to complain about a dog, really, actually. My next door neighbor's 2 dogs, Basset Hounds, were driving me crazy. That's the very same website where you can ask for permit information. Don't know how they cross paths, but I was very happy that their Basset Hounds were barking that night. And I stumbled upon this information and went, oh, so I know how much they just paid for my brand new house and that lot. Don't know that I'm really excited about it, but that's okay. I enjoy having the information. But yeah, you just type it in, you click the button, and you say download, and you give it a time frame, and it spits it right back out. Okay. So we have lots of information. We're going to take this meeting as here's all of what we can get and all of what we have. And now what do we really want to do with it? Where do we really want to go? How does that really look from now until the end of time, or now until 2 months from now? But in order to do that, we have to know how voting happens, right? So we have all of the information, what it looks like, what we can do with it, but how do we vote on what we want? I'm going to say right now, don't shoot the messenger. The messenger says, no, just kidding. Because the president and vice president have taken on the earnest of making sure that this grows and that it is a viable business for everyone, we're allowing the 2 of their votes to be 51% of voting power. This, I know, seems a little different, but if you have 10 people, you can be split in half. But if you have a president and a vice president that disagree, that's still okay. So I want everyone to see this as a benefit, not just that if those 2 people agree, then that's what's going to happen. Because there's going to be people of the remaining 8 or the remaining 16 that might not agree with them. Or, yeah, they might agree with them and it might sway the vote one way or another. So yes, while they have 51%, they also have the backing of the other 49.
Woo. So this is a majority vote, so 51% of the vote wins, no matter what. So if I'm like super stealth and slightly manipulative and a fast talker, which some people might say that I am,
Right.
I could persuade whoever the president is and whoever the vice president is to my will. And all it takes is those 2 votes. And if those 2 votes say yes, then that's what happens, period.
Right.
Woo, that's deep.
But that's no different than having 6 people say one thing and 4 people saying another.
I guess my question to you is,
Yeah.
what's the difference between the voting weight here and about 3 or 4 slides ago, you had, was it a majority vote, I believe?
So weight versus ownership. You all still own the same percentage. So right now they're not voting for their own personal payout. They're voting for everyone's payout versus voting for the payout that gets them more money than you.
Right. In no situation will they get more money
No.
than anybody else. Everybody owns the same, we all have the same equity.
Right.
But when it comes to making the decisions, we don't all have the same decision power.
That's right.
So this could get super political.
It could.
Which I'm into politics. It's extremely political.
Yes. But the feel-good moment is that you know that they're not voting for their own pocket. They're voting for your pocket just as much as they're voting for the next person's pocket.
Prayerfully, they have good sense.
Prayerfully.
And they vote, and they have,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
You got some people that say they can't see the whole screen. Is there something you can say?
Let's see.
Like this should be probably not. I'm not sure that's what I'm doing that. That's it.
I don't know what they can't see.
Said
Yeah, I was on the second video.
with the graphs and the charts. Can't see the whole screen. I said, me too. He said, yeah, only with the graphs and charts. You can't see the whole screen. Sure.
Well, I guess you can just, I mean, send it out later.
Yeah.
We can just
Yeah.
upload it
Yeah.
and keep moving.
I do apologize for that, everyone. Okay, any other thoughts, questions, concerns, feelings? I don't know that I should ask that one, no.
I'm good.
I like it. Looking good. Looking good.
Did DC and Eric just say they like it? I'm sure.
Yeah, they are, but they do like it. I'm sure they're way into it.
But there could be a moment where they disagree. And then what?
Then it gets political. Maybe it gets political. People lobby for their own interests.
May not always be good.
That's right.
Not always be good. Officers change. So, I mean,
That's a good question. How long do the officers stay? You know?
it's in the bylaws. I think it's- So you have time, I want to say 2 years, so it's 2 year terms.
And so that can also get political.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where there's people, there's politics.
Okay.
Yep.
Questions? Anybody? Thoughts? I know I kind of raced through it. I get very excited about numbers. Get very excited. So, are you on the live stream?
I told people they have questions to post them.
Is anybody on it? Can you?
I was on it, back to look at the bylaws and how to do that.
I'm gonna put on just the permits issue page. And you all let me know what they can't see, I guess. And maybe I can explain some things, I guess, if they want.
I got that on my screen too right now.
You can see the whole entire thing.
I'll show you.
Oh, I guess I could. Oh.
That's on my screen, that's your screen too?
Okay, I wonder, I wonder if there's a way to reduce the size.
You're not showing me?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, yeah. All of the bylaws. Oh, I got it. I got it.
How's that?
This has picture here now.
She changed.
No, that's not perfect.
Is it, yeah, you just doing the space here.
Yep, I'm sharing. Let me try doing it again.
Okay, now it's back up.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
shows all day?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. Okay, so let's go and ask them if there was a particular slide they wanted to see in totality, and we can address that one. I do not mind at all.
Did you ever push anything, Stephanie, to went back to Eric? Was that, no,
It could have been me switching the,
okay,
back to the PowerPoint.
okay.
Just to kind of recap with everybody, this is the permits screen. And just to review, this is all permits issued since January 1st, 2015 through June 2016. It's better?
It's a little distorted, but man, it's something to work on later on.
Okay, okay. Any questions, thoughts?
Question? Talking about
Okay,
I have a question.
yes,
So right now, the buy-in is at $500.
correct,
So we're gonna break that up into 4 equal payments.
correct,
And then after 4 months, people will start paying into the actual membership, which won't be until January.
Yeah,
Okay.
December off.
So at what point, do we begin, so like, if you don't, what is, I guess, I have two questions. What is the last date to be in at the $500 floor? Like, what's the last day until you can, and then until you have to pay, what is it, $1,000 again?
According to the bylaws, we decided that you have, if you miss 2 payments, might be 4 payments, I want to say, then you would actually be out of the group. So we might be able to do the same thing, and 4 payments would be, $500 and $120 a piece.
No, she's asking when is the final day for people to pay $500.
Yeah,
So if everyone has until November 30th to pay their 500, then the last day should be November 30th.
Right.
okay, that's fine.
So because somebody could just say, on November 29th, here's my 500, right?
Okay.
And then you wouldn't necessarily penalize them. There's the members who've already started paying in still haven't finished their obligation.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So then January 12th.
That's correct.
And then, so, let's just say in February, somebody's like super gung-ho about this, they wanna join in, we're 9 people or 10 people, they would then have to buy in at $1,000.
That's correct.
Cool.
That's right. Awesome.
I believe you are, great. I love the fact we kind of went down as far as the monthlies. I know at one time we were at 100, we were at 125, I think we were at 150 at one time. And we were back down to 100, which is great. Is there a rhyme or reason to that thought process?
So that's, she put it in there, I know we agreed to do the 150 or not. And I want to bring that up, and I know if people are comfortable with doing 150, we can go up to 150, or you want to meet halfway to 125. Stick with the 125. We can do that as well.
Right, the projected numbers that you just showed, that was all under $100, right?
That's right.
Yes.
That sounds bad to me, man. Not gonna be cheap or anything, but
Yeah.
I don't have all the money in the world, but $100 sounds good. If that's a 5-year plan, of us still hitting that $1 million mark, that sounds good.
And a lot of it's going to be revenue not related to monthly fees, right? So a lot of it's just going to be, we need to get a grant that says that we're minorities and we're doing X, and we're going to get the grant that says X, Y, Z, right? So a part of it's just to know that you're still committed. And then the other part is, if you're committed, then we kind of need your help
Right.
to do what we have to do to make this happen. So, yeah.
See if I can help you. It was Corey.
Hello, Corey. How are you?
I think he put that one was the first payment, and then show it all the way up.
Corey, Jason's here and Stephanie. So if you feel like we're not answering you fast enough, text one of us.
The first payment for the $500 is August, the third Sunday of August, that's when the first payment is.
First payment, 125, is due August meeting, Corey.
How are we setting up making payments?
So payments can be received either at a meeting, and then we can just deposit it and give you a deposit slip or a receipt, or we are going to have the bank account send an email, or our accounting system send an email where you can pay online. So you just pay your invoice online, which is very, very easy, very easy.
So you can have your bill paid.
So yeah, it'll be like an invoice sent to your email. And basically, like you said, just pay that there online. What I'm doing, what I've been trying to get done is get a business account set up for us. That I was trying to do, but I couldn't get done because I had to get our LLC first. So we're gonna get our LLC together probably this week, next week, and then we'll open up the business account. And then we'll be good to go. But we'll still collect the money either way, though.
Are we still needing, whatever that number is for the LLC.
The EIN number?
I know, I think she had a text message out last week about.
Yeah, for the.
Yeah, for payments like that for the LLC.
Okay.
And like the rationale.
Any other questions, thoughts? Oh, yes, ma'am.
So are the plans to wait? I'm sorry, my lips are broken. Are the plans to wait until 5 years passes to actually begin like, yes? Or are we gonna like do something like once you get like, I don't know, 100,000?
So in my brain, it's just how my brain's working. I'm looking at year 3 and year 5. So I want to see where we're at year 3. See if there's something we can do at that time. So hopefully, and the whole reason I'm looking at year 3 is just a way to boost our capital into the being in year 5. That's how I'm looking at it. So there's an opportunity there, and I'm focusing mostly on the crowdfunding part. That's where we have the minimum investments, where we aren't going to invest as much, or we can do it the other way. We're just talking about getting a sponsorship, finding a partner that can match us, or another investor to partner with us to go into it. Then we'll do something year 3. If not, we'll focus on the year 5. So year 3, we'll kind of see where we're at. Year 5, for sure, we should have something. But for sure, going into the, once we get this part going with the payments, secure the $500, like going into next year, our focus will be on what specific type of property we're going to be looking at. And we're going to really start focusing in on what it is that we want to invest in. We're going to do a specific property type, which we'll start discussing that going into the next few meetings. I've got some people lined up, people that are in the industry for each specific property type, as far as the retail, storage, what am I thinking about? I'm sorry, office space, and industrial. I think those are the 4. I have people in each specific multifamily, that's something about apartments. So each person that specializes in that field, we'll try to bring in, talk to you all about the actual specific property type. And going into next year, we can really start focusing on what it is that we're going to look at and kind of do our analysis on exactly what we're going to be investing.
So the next 3 years are just basically information,
Information, education, getting real hopeful. Because
and we have to be every month.
we'll do that. We'll probably have to start reaching out to our council people or people that's in the district to decide on the area that we're going to look at. And so we can start figuring out who the council person is or who's over that district. Yeah, a lot of stuff changes, but even still, we have to be on tap for that. So when if a change does happen, we already know what's about to happen to be prepared for it. So it's a lot, but we got it. No worries.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I think,
I'm good.
Okay.
I love you all.
Thank you, Ms. Lutz.
Well, we want to thank Ms. Luntz coming in and talking to us today. I appreciate everybody coming in today and being actively participating in the meetings. I'm very, very grateful for Ms. Stephanie for coming in and taking over the task of our treasurer. She is great and she loves numbers. So that's a plus. So our next meeting next month would be the 3rd Sunday of August, which is somebody give me the date, please. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I feel like it's the 20th. 21st, sorry. Next meeting is August the 21st. That's also first day of your first payment for your $500 for your pay-in for the partnership. So you need to have your 125 ready and be prepared for the next meeting. Trying to make sure I got everything covered.
What is the vote for officers?
Good question. Beginning of the year, after the payments are made. So we'll make January, since that sounds like when we start our monthly payments, that will be our annual meeting. So January, we'll nominate our officers. And I guess February, they'll be elected. We'll nominate them in January, and they'll be elected in February. It's a process. So unless we change something that I don't know about, but we might be able to do it all in one day, in one meeting. But everything will start in January. So the annual meeting, we'll do our first little financial report, which shouldn't be a lot. And I think that's about it. That's all I have. Unless anybody else has any other questions, we're gonna continue working on this progress, continue on this journey. Like I said, we're doing a good thing here. This is pretty good to go. I'm ready. So hope everybody else have a great rest of the day, and I'll see y'all next month. Thank you.
You're on Facebook Live?
I think it was YouTube Live.
Oh, yeah, well,
Google
oh,
Hangouts on there.
you're on Google Hangout.
Google Hangout on there. Stop here.